Well, let's take a look at what's been happening inside Libya. Now, obviously, a lot of communications are down. Internet is very patchy, very difficult to get through on the phone. Some reports are putting the death toll. Some human rights groups are saying the death toll in Libya is upwards of 400. One of the rumours that had come out of Libya was that Colonel Gaddafi had actually left the country, which he has since denied by appearing on television. Lawrence Lee has this report.
The latest appearance on Libyan television by Muammar Gaddafi was designed to shake off rumours that he'd fled and was still in charge. He said he was in Tripoli, though the place he was filmed in was anonymous. He didn't refer to the protests, though he described the international media as dogs for the coverage of the unrest. All the same, it's not the international media which is now accusing him potentially of crimes against humanity. It's the United Nations which has said his military fired on protesters from either helicopters or warplanes, along with numerous reports from the ground, which have said that the gunfire has been mixed with heavy artillery. The government denies it, but two Air Force colonels who flew their jets to Malta to defect have alleged that they were ordered to fire on their own people from the air. The head of the United Nations, like many other world leaders, has insisted the violence against the protesters has to stop.
Libyan authorities have been firing at demonstrators from the warplanes and helicopters. This is unacceptable. This must stop immediately.
Web video has come out which claims to show black African mercenaries in Tripoli. Once again, it's denied by the government, but reports from the Libyan capital say the mercenaries fired indiscriminately on the protesters. This group of Egyptian migrant workers who fled Libya for their own safety told the same story.
They are not Libyans, they are Africans, mercenaries. They're shooting people who are trying to protect themselves.
The Arab League and the United Nations are both meeting on Tuesday amid increasing criticism from Libyan society that the international response hasn't been anything like strong enough so far. Several Libyan diplomats have resigned or are now openly criticising their government as being indefensible to the international community.
I don't speak to Colonel Gaddafi. The only thing I tell him on the air now, he has to get out. Either he get out or the Libyan people will kick him out anyway.
As things stand, Colonel Gaddafi himself appears entirely defiant in the face of all of this. There's so much violence that any chance of dialogue has disappeared. He and the protesters seem to have decided that this is now a fight to the death. Lawrence Lee, AlJazeera.
Now, Tunisians living in Libya have been returning to their country. The two North African countries share a 500-kilometre border, and around 50,000 Tunisians work there, and they're leaving, of course, because of the violence. Our reporter Nazni Mashiri has this report from the town of Ras Ajdir.
There's a steady trickle of Tunisians coming across the border, as you can see behind me. This is about as close as we can get. We're just about 100 metres away from the Libyan side. We're 160 kilometres away from the Libyan capital, Tripoli. Now, what people are telling us is that on the other side of the border, there is a heavy security presence of police and army stopping and checking people, going through their luggage, taking away their phones, taking away their money.
Give me the money or you can return back to Tripoli. You
Do
give
you
me
think,
the money or
is
you return back to Tunisia, to Tripoli.
Is it dangerous now for Tunisians in
Yes,
Libya?
It is very dangerous for Tunisian now.
Why?
Because Saif Muammar Gaddafi said to the people that the Tunisian and the Egyptian did the problems in Libya.
After all, Libya is burning now.
Libya is burning.
Yeah.
Where is it burning? Where is it? Tell us what's happening.
All Libya, all Libya.
Just tell us what's
Misrata,
happening.
Benghazi, Tripoli, all.
There is an increased military presence here. We have been told by the Tunisians they are sending in extra units. There is still a state of emergency here in Tunisia. The army very much in control of security. They are taking this situation seriously. but we haven't seen that many Libyans coming across the border. We understand that it might have something to do with the fact that the Libyans themselves on the other side are not allowing Libyans to come across. So far, the focus here on the border is very much on getting as many Tunisians out as possible. We understand 2 planes will be heading into Libya at some point to take the thousands of Tunisians stuck there right now.
Now, there's a lot of concerns about the humanitarian situation inside Libya. The United Nations Human Rights Chief, Navi Pillay, has said that the attacks against the civilian population may amount to crimes against humanity. Earlier, we spoke to Mona Rishmawi in Geneva. She's the legal advisor to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. She calls for an immediate end to the violence in Libya.
We're extremely worried about the reports that we are hearing, the use of planes, the use of snipers, the use of gunshots, the use of what I can call as hired guns to basically go against the demonstrators. The indiscriminate attacks against the civilians is extremely serious and can lead to allegations of crimes against humanity. What we are looking for right now is for this situation to stop now. It must stop. Life must be spared. People, civilians must be protected. They cannot go. We cannot go on in these killings like that. It's extremely serious situation that is unfolding in front of our eyes today.
Have you had any response from the Libyan authorities to these allegations and to your calls for this violence to stop?
All what I can tell you is that they are aware of what we are saying. They are aware of the allegations that we are making. We are using reports that we are hearing from Libya itself, and we are basically talking to the various actors in this as the events are unfolding. And it is extremely serious right now. We are talking about hundreds of people perhaps killed and injured, and people are fleeing the country. Is extremely serious.
Now, a number of Libya's senior diplomats have quit. The latest is the ambassador to the United States. In a televised statement, Ali Al-Jali said he did remain committed to Libya.
Just let me start by saying that I resign from serving the current dictatorship regime. But I will never resign from serving our people until their voices reach the whole world and until their goals are achieved.
Rosalind Jordan is in Washington, D.C. for us. Rosalind, what impact has that resignation had?
Well, it certainly has a lot of people talking. It's been the main story on all of the American newscasts, and certainly it has raised the situation in Libya to the attention of ordinary Americans. Certainly, while there is a widespread sympathy for what the Libyan people have been going through in the past week or so, certainly to now hear that key members of the Libyan government are saying, I will no longer serve this government, is really getting people's attention. The critical question, Shuli, is what the U.S. administration of President Barack Obama will actually do in light of the fact that the official representative of the Libyan government no longer